Is that normal, or?
That's has to heat up. There.
Oh, okay.
There's a, then it chatters a lot because, it's everything has to warm up for the frequencies to stabilize.
But it doesn't do that once it's.
Oh no! Once it's up, but I've started it now. I'm going to give it like 10 minutes to heat up. In the meantime, oops.
Well, you can
I'll start the routers. I think the I have it so it'll just come alive.
Is that other sound also part of this, or
yeah,
is that something else?
Probably the alarm relay. All that chattering, that'll eventually settle down too. Yeah, you can hear it before it warms up. Now that'll go quiet. That's the trunk or the circuit that works, but it just once it's once it's warmed up, it should work. It should go right to work.
So what's the 4-wire interface here? Is that in here, or
that's these trunks. Each one of these are 4-wire.
But how is this converted to?
I separated the receiver and transmitter circuit.
Oh, okay. So you did it in the phone.
Yeah. So basically a 4-wire phone. So no side tone.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you see these. What trunk am I using? Huh, I forgot. I think it's there's really no way to tell. Yeah, it's the. I thought it was. Yeah, this one right here, the one that doesn't say 2-wire.
Oh, that one, right? The only one that.
And I could go on to another one and try to get it to work, but they all have something wrong with them.
So why did these even have the 2-wire option? Because didn't all trunk stuff, wasn't that only 4-wire, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, sometimes you have to go 2-wire into a local switch someplace.
Ah, okay, I see. Right.
Yeah, so you got to do the conversion someplace.
Right.
Now these over here, these are all 4-wire.
Well, the thumping stopped.
Yeah, it'll when it warms up. Okay. So that's getting low now because that's turning into chatter. It all as it heats up, I know what's. The CNET switch, I'm going to unplug it until it's.
So are these both the same ARC unit, or?
Pardon?
Are these both part of the same N1 thing?
Yeah, 2 ends.
Oh, right, because you need one end, you need 2 ends.
Repeater, because you got to swap the frequencies to work back to back. And then this is about 11 miles of cable.
In that little box?
Well, it's a artificial cable.
Oh, okay.
Resistor capacitor network.
Right, to simulate that, okay.
Okay, it's starting to sound better. Let's see if I can get dial tone. I'm not, but get on there and see if it even sees the Cisco router.
So what is a Cisco router needed for in this setup?
That's just this interface to CNET switch.
Oh, okay.
Because it doesn't work with the T1 for some reason. The levels, I can't get the levels right.
So you have this phone on this end, and then what's the other side of it?
The other side would be CNET.
Okay, so it goes into your Asterisk box?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Take the cover off this.
Did you make this number card yourself, or is that original?
What's that?
The number card?
No, I stamped it.
Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I have a stamper.
Oh, like a real one?
Yeah,
Okay, I guess it was in computer fonts. And
I remember I got that at a flea market. The guy thought I was nuts when I wanted to pay for it. I told him, no, this is incredibly...
Right.
Well, what finally happened is Bud Breslin, who you might have heard just passed away.
Yeah.
He's over visiting one day, and he says, I will trade you anything in my collection for that stamp. And the guy who was with me, who thought I was nuts, suddenly realized I knew what I was doing.
Right.
But I didn't trade it. I like it too much.
Maybe you could have stamped cards for people with it.
Yeah. Where did I put it? It might be in here. Oh, there it is. The thing that gave it away is it has the party line codes.
Mm-hmm. Right, so they could put those on. So I guess it has 5 columns of numbers. So that's not enough for all of them. So do they use some of these twice? Or?
Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a part. Yeah, it's. Oh, you're. Oh,
Maybe
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
not
these
counting
are for the exchange letters, I guess. You know, something
okay.
4, 2.
Right.
Yeah, so you can actually.
So that would be for 2L plus 5N.
Yeah.
That they would have used it.
Yeah.
So you didn't use that for that one then, right?
Pardon? No.
'Cause that one's
no.
all numbers, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a exchange name for the CNET numbers. Well, I guess I could. I had to see what 594 even was.
Lindbergh?
Well,
That's what Evan Doorbell was in. It was like Lindbergh
Oh, okay.
5 or something.
I mean, this is what the Penn Central used for their exchange downtown, 30th Street Station, 6 Penn Center, and all the surrounding
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
So I think
So maybe they had an
it
exchange
may have
name
been
that they
assigned
used.
after all number calling was adapted.
Right.
Let me see if Cisco is.
selector codes on here. Oh, on the director. I can't remember what any of them are.
This is.
Oh, that's what that's hooked up to.
Supposed to be able to manually pulse it out, but it's can't get the pin count right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's 476 there.
Is this train dispatching equipment or?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the 62A key. This is the last one they made.
Wow.
Yeah, it sounds like 3709.
This one's actually motor driven. This one's motor driven.
Mhm.
There's a clockwork one over here. The 61 key. And then upstairs they have the 60A key, which was just a cabinet, and you had 20 twist keys, and you set each one to each code individually.
Got it.
Yeah. Apparatus cap. Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yep.
Oh, we got black code.
Apparatus cabinet. The key is working. You got a slow acting relay to put the power on, and then the key is working the pole changing relay to reverse the line polarity.
Mhm.
Which is what we don't have the relay there anymore.
Is this just a regular telegraph sounder or?
It's a modified telegraph relay that has pole changing contacts. A regular telegraph relay would have just been a single make and break.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Like up there on the top panel, that's our standard telegraph relays.
Are those hooked up or?
Yeah, oh yeah. When I go up to start,
I remember that. I remember the patch panel.
pardon?
I remember the patch panel configuration.
It should be wired in.
I'll see if I can.
Just start the,
Is it closed through down here? Looks like it is.
yeah, it should be closed through because you have to close the key upstairs.
Yeah.
There's a guy that has a Morse over IP network.
Oh, is
Which
that
I'm
Morse
on.
cob or?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh,
It
okay.
actually is.
Yeah, I'm on that list as well.
Oh, you are okay.
Mhm.
And A. Burnett, if you know him.
Yeah, I've seen his posts.
He's a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, yeah. When Sam gets
Mm-hmm.
the thing, actually now the computer's probably off.
Loop's closed through. Computer was still turned off.
Okay, you booting it up then?
Yeah.
Okay.
The interface is cut out though, so the loop should be
Okay.
live.
So is this sending down here and receiving up
Oh,
there?
Yeah.
Or?
No. I guess I gotta pick up the loop. No. It's gonna be in. I think it's this one. That's teletype. Did you close the key, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear it? Did you hear it click?
Yeah. Yeah, the interface was, I checked the interface, the repeater was cut out.
This is circuit 1. Okay. Why can't I see? Oh, there we go. Okay. Is the computer's booting then?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's give it a few minutes.
So is that what this is connected to, Morse cob? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a loop running upstairs. That's where that's where the computer is. CB.
That was
Oh,
ampersand.
oh, okay. Yeah, I never got the punctuations down.
Yeah, I don't even know all the letters, to be honest. I know some of them.
Oops. Oh. Right, I didn't miss them. What are B2 lamps? 18 volts. Okay, not what I need. Saw a box of B2 lamps on eBay earlier today at an incredibly good price. Nobody was bidding. Well, I guess nobody wanted them, so that's why. Nobody can use them for anything, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, should be started up. I can go cutting.
Okay. Let's see why. There we go. You want to pick up that phone?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey. Wow, it does have a nice carrier feel to it.
Isn't that great?
And I can, well, that might just... Is there an echo in here, or... Is that just because we're in the same room?
How about now?
Oh, now it went away, yeah.
Okay, there's a speaker over here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would have done it.
There's still a lot of noise. When it heats up, the noise will go away on this channel.
Okay.
I wish I could get the other channel working. I'd love to be able to switch it to wire.
Right. I mean, this kind of sounds like a long-distance call, so...
Yeah. I remember those days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, if anybody you want to call, just hang up and get out to them.
That's not 2600, is it?
What?
That's not 2600, right? Or
No,
is it?
they used a non-standard frequency.
Or maybe...
3700, I think.
Okay, it sounded like it was in the 3 kilohertz range.
Yeah. It's out of the normal voice band, but
Right. But you would hear it on here, I guess.
yeah.
But otherwise, they used it similarly, like you would hear this until the call answered, or
Yeah.
would it get
Yeah.
filtered out? I guess because it
Supposed
wasn't in
to
the
get
voice
filtered
band.
out, but yeah, the filter's not perfect. You probably, I think, didn't you always hear that? They talk about always hearing the squeal in the background, like the
Yeah,
filter.
it was in the background.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't think you would hear it in your face, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
If you wanted to try to call somebody you knew on it.
can I call any CNET number, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, maybe I can try calling into my switch and maybe leaving myself a message. Or is that something else?
That's upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I dial 1?
No, just well, you could. It throws away the one, but
Uh-oh. Oh, I can't send forward digits. Okay, let me try directly.
well, you should be able to. If it's tone, if it's in band tone, you should be able to send it.
Well, I could dial the number, but then once I done that, I couldn't send DTMF.
Oh. You could?
Yeah, so I guess, is this using in-band, or?
Oh, you won't hear it. You won't hear it because.
Well, I wasn't breaking dial tone.
Oh.
Because I got a second dial tone, and then I couldn't break that dial
okay. It
tone.
may be.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Richard Wills is on the phone. He said he got the contract.
Okay.
He hasn't he's apologized for not responding. But he says wait for the ground to dry up. But is there anything else you need to ask?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it's telling him we're already fell.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt. They're all going to be gone.
He said he was hoping we weren't calling saying
Well, that's what I'm afraid of.
Hello, this is a test message to myself. And I did hear the what was it, 3750 or
Yeah,
3700?
3700.
Yeah, I heard it right up until answer supervision kicked in, so it works just like it should. That's cool. Okay, I'll hang up now. Is it supposed to do that, or
What's that?
like
Yeah,
it
I
always
think
does
so.
that when?
It's just the way the.
Would you hear that in the CO when you had racks of this
Well, no,
equipment?
because that's my internal or my temporary ringing bell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I trigger the E lead on, or when I trigger the M lead, the E lead picks up on that and just rings a bell.
Mm-hmm.
It's all E and M signaling. Obviously, if it were hooked to a switch, then it would.
Thought I heard this going off.
Yeah,
Is it?
same had it going upstairs.
Okay.
The ANI had been giving me trouble for like the last week.
Oh, that you were working on?
Yeah, no, I think I told you about that.
Yeah, you did. And
I don't know why it worked for so many years, but then it stopped working, sort of, intermittently, and I found out that I had all these straps on.
is this the one that sends the tone down the line and then uses the matrix to identify it?
Now this uses 100-volt pulse, DC pulse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So a
what
little
it does
different.
is I have, there's one lead off of every sleeve lead or control lead that goes into this neon lamp matrix. There's only 100 lines hooked to it, so there's 5 groups of 20. When you make a call through the trunk, which is one of these, is either one of them, the trunk wakes up the sender, which asks the detector to determine the number, so it shoots the 100-volt pulse up the sleeve lead into the neon lamp matrix. The detector decodes it and converts it to a very strange 2 out of 5, except when it's not code, which is then stored down in the sender. And then the sender drops off the detector. The detector can handle several senders.
Mm-hmm.
And the sender can handle, I don't know how many trunks. So now the sender's hooked up. It'll outpulse in MF the number it just decoded. Then it drops off and the trunk is handling the call. But it just stopped. It stopped decoding some of the digits. Either the last 2 digits or the first 2, depending on which cards I swapped out in there. And as I'm trying to troubleshoot, I'm realizing that these straps don't have anything to do with the thousands and hundreds digits. So I don't even know how they were getting there. But I finally studied the book more carefully and realized I had them all strapped wrong. Now I'm now I got the 10. What is it? Got the 10,000s, thousands, and hundreds set here. Of course, the units and tens come out of the detector, and the office code is strapped up here.
So how is it working to begin with then?
How was it working? I don't know. I don't know why it was working, and I don't know why it stopped working.
Right.
All I know is I set the jumpers right, and now it's working again. But there's a really neat test set that goes with it. I have it on the other side because I was using it to troubleshoot. But you clip this onto the sleeve lead you want to check. Then you go to the other side, if you want to go around the front. Then you go to this test box. Oh, crap. Okay. Oh, let me watch these neon lamps up here to see if anything even flashes. I guess it's not fixed. Excuse me. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. Now you have to decode it that way. So WZ would be 3, I guess. Yeah, 3, 5, XZ, and then single X is 8. 3, 5, 8. 3, 5, 8, 3. I don't know why it didn't like 3, 5, 8, 4. Let me move it over 2 and see what it does. Oh. Try it again. Okay, this one is 8YZ, 8.6. So 8.5 people go. I don't know why. So what I can do, I'll pick up 8.5 here. Yeah, it's not. There's still a problem someplace. It could be one of the neon lamps cards there. I don't know. Oops, excuse me. Ah, can you see in that end, or still around the other side, and watch? No, I mean where the chair is.
Oh, okay.
Because there's 2 neon lamps in there. I can see if 1 or 2.
And which one?
Should be those 2 right up there.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, 2 of them come on.
2 of them did come on. Okay. Well, for some reason, it's not. It's supposed to drive a. It goes through a diode matrix, and it's supposed to drive a transistorized relay driver, which then causes the relays to pick. But what's that? Oh,
Cheats.
but there's. I'll have to figure out what's wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the 3 touchtone or tone to pulse converters I have.
Oh, the ones you were talking about.
Yeah. And I just realized this one's not hooked in, or it is hooked to a line I never use. This one, I had a, way before CNET, I had a way you could dial into the house. I had a fax switch answer. Then you could hit a code to get past the fax switch, and you get dial tone off this switch.
Like a DISA.
Yeah, exactly. And then you could use this. This would allow you to dial through the switch.
Okay.
And I don't have it on now, but it's I guess all I have to do is power it back up again, and it should be usable.
So it's that same unit?
That's this converter does that.
Oh, okay.
And then these two are for 2 other lines, including the one we were trying to work with a couple days ago.
Right, yeah.
And that's why I'm wondering why that's not working properly. Because I actually have two lines. I realize I have a second line on touchtone only, or on touchtone. I changed the phone up in the study to a. I put a 2565 up there because I wanted to put a speakerphone in, but I realized now that I got the 2565, I have to convert that last line to a tone.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
Remember there was one of the lines that was run up the table upstairs had a touchtone setup on it. Maybe that was why there was one in there.
oh, that could be 502 maybe.
Yeah, one of the lines that was run up to the deck.
Oh, okay, that
was
would
set up for it. So.
that would be it then.
So I wasn't calling you here the other day.
Pardon?
I wasn't reaching you here the other day.
When you tried to call and I didn't answer, or
I mean, I thought I was calling in here, but it sounds like that wasn't the case. It was
well,
upstairs.
515 is down here. 3515 is the switch room, which I'm I only answer when I'm down here.
The 3555 is up there.
3555 is in that room. Which
Okay.
is normally where I'm working. That's in my home office.
Oh, okay.
And the 576. I'm gonna go by the workbench. Hello? I'm gonna go over by the workbench then. You can see the frame speakers for the frame. Hello. You just talk into the horn with the red light on it.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Or
Yeah, I can. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
real strong, but
it works?
it's usable.
Yeah.
So I had the tone burst on there because I don't want somebody to call in and be listening to me.
Right, without you knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's where I had you call. I think it was this morning, or I don't remember.
Yeah, it was this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I've had these hanging up here for years, and I figured I gotta hook them up. Because occasionally on eBay, you see people trying to sell them as speakers. It's not. It's a carbon microphone with a giant horn attached.
Oh, so that's perfect for this,
Yeah,
like a two-way paging
Yeah,
thing.
this is a speaker then.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
So is that a Morse cob wire, or
Yeah.
that's on there now?
Yeah. What speed do you have that running at?
You can't set. They claim 20 to 35 words per minute. I guess it's an old instructor graph tape without writing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me, I'm gonna. It's a relay-based repeater. It's a relay-based repeater upstairs, reading off the serial out of the Morse cob off the serial ports.
And then that goes into the other end of this, or
Yeah, well, it's 130 volt DC loop.
right?
All Morse instruments are on. So we got to, it's again relay-based repeaters. So if anything that happens on one side gets repeated on the other, it gets repeated out the other side.
Cool. So are you pretty into telephony too, or more telegraphy and rail, or?
Mostly the railroad, mostly railroad signal stuff.
Okay. It's a lot of crossover though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this thing, Chicago and Northwestern cab signal onboard equipment. This part was I had to build this to run everything through its paces.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is this similar scale to how it would have been?
No, this. Yeah, I just used telephone equipment because it was what I had.
Right.
But this, I know a guy in Reading that has one. Up in Reading that has the actual display. It was probably about this big.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been in the front of the cab. This is standing in for a pressure switch on the locomotive air brake.
Mm-hmm.
This is a set of control leads off a governor, or off of an electronic governor driven off the axle. And this would have been a small, pull-push lever. Down and then back up.
Mm-hmm.
This is representing a split-winding magnet valve that would have been on an airline to a whistle. I'm letting the 100 hertz warm up so I can actually run the thing.
Oh, cool.
Because this is 100 hertz well, you'd have a set of inductive pickups off the rail.
Mm-hmm.
One off each rail would go into the 100 hertz filters, and then through an amplifier. If that all passed, the output would pick up this relay. Everything else is based off this relay being up or down. This was a Chicago Northwestern Systems was weird. It only had two aspects: go or stop. Didn't give you any advance warning. It just dropped. But let's see if this is ready to. Okay, there it is. Yeah, the clear state. You got the 100 hertz coming in.
So then how do you get it into a not clear state?
Well, we'll go through it. You got the speeds. At this point, you can go anything up to 70. If you go over 70, that'll be a whistle, but the overspeed alarm will go off.
Mm-hmm.
That's an overspeed. While you're in that position, this relay is holding up a magnet valve on the air brake pipe. That's slow acting. It'll drop 5 seconds after that relay drops out. This will go 5 seconds later. So if you don't take, to prevent that from happening, you need to set the air brakes. I don't have that represented here. But if you're doing, let's say 70, you'll go by, this was all cab, no wayside. There were no wayside signals coming into this. So when you'd hit where there would have been an approach signal, the 100 hertz would disappear. Signal drops. Now you're in overspeed. You'd set the air brakes to silence that, or to get the speed down. When your speed gets down to below 40, you're here. You acknowledge. Now the timer's running. At this point, timer will run. At this point, you got to start. You got to be slowing down, because when this timer gets around to here, which is 75 seconds, it'll drop the speed setting again and put you in overspeed if you're not below 20 at that point.
I'm gonna kill the moose.
Okay. Yeah. There's your overspeed, but if you were below 20, nothing happens. If you're below 20 at that point, nothing happens. But now, from here out, as long as the cab signal's bad, or as long as the signal's bad, you can't go over 20. Or that'll happen. when this gets back around to the beginning of its cycle, which is, I believe it's 2 minutes. Any second now. We got to acknowledge again. And it'll do that every 2 minutes as long as you're running on a bad cab.
Mm-hmm.
When the cab comes back, you'll have a bell to let you know the cab came back up. At this point, good for anything up to 70 again. The only other odd things about it were if you're on a bad cab, it's acknowledged and you're stopped with the engine brake on, it won't require acknowledgement as long as you're stopped with the engine brake on. As soon as you release the engine brake, it will trip it again. And I don't remember how this works. We'll say you're here. Drop the cab out. Acknowledge again. This was a later addition for when you had to cut the equipment out to run on non-equipped railroad. But at this point, you're on a bad cab, but none of it does anything.
Right.
Yeah, none of it does anything. That was just for leaving. If you were getting off a main tractor, you didn't want it to do that. When the cab comes back, it automatically cuts it all. But as soon as it sees the cab code, that drops out and cuts everything back in.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's basically all there is to it. I could find no documentation on this thing. I was okay.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah. I could barely find any documentation on this thing when I got it. It was just that,
Wow.
put 32 volts here and see
what it
stick
does.
32 volts there and see what it does.
Wow, so that must have been a lot of testing and work.
Yeah. I found there was this book had a very simplified schematic of it that didn't even like the pin numbers didn't match stuff in here. It just gave an idea how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And after a little digging, I found a schematic out of a Chicago Northwestern locomotive
Wow.
that showed a few of the cable connections for this thing. That got me the rest of the details I needed.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, and this was 2-aspect with a very complex speed control system. Dates back to the 20s. I mean, this was a 70s. This was all a 70s product, but the initial design went back to the 20s, which was this was the original cab system. The more common stuff, like you'd find in the East, one back in the storage room was a 4-aspect cab that used a pulse code in the track circuit. To actually, 100 was it pulsed 100 hertz?
Yeah, pulse 100.
Pulsed 100 hertz, and then it decoded the pulse rate to get 4 aspects out of it.
This I never even knew this thing existed. It's almost primitive, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
This was like, it wasn't coded to use straight 100 hertz. There was a 3-aspect variant of it, but the 3-aspect variant was even weirder because you would have the 100 hertz in the track circuit, and then you'd have 100 hertz superimposed on that through a center tap transformer that went through both rails evenly, and then came back on a line wire. And I guess they had to arrange 2 sets of pickups, one to pick up the loop circuit with the line wire, which was moving in the same direction in both rails, and one to pick up the circuit that was moving in opposite directions.
Wow.
And it referenced the phase of those 2 circuits to get 3 aspects out of it. If you had them in phase.
Mm-hmm.
If they had to be both there and in phase to get the one better. To get 2 better, one of them had to flip phase. That got you 3 aspects out of it, but it didn't last because it was useless in the electrified railroad. You couldn't use it at all because both rails were used for the traction power return.
Right. Yeah.
How How's that
Yeah.
N1 line sound now? It's still any quieter?
Like the noise, or
Yeah, this chattering sound. You should hear. They should hear the tone.
I guess it's a little bit. I mean, I hear 3,700 hertz
Yeah,
clearly.
that's okay.
But yeah, it's in the background, but it's not in your face or in your ear, I guess.
And it's a neat piece of equipment. It doesn't really fit any what I'm doing, I guess. I don't know.
Great.
Is it neither of these were railroad equipment or?
No, that, this one was.
Okay.
That came out of Trenton. I never even would have gotten the thing. You know, they had a couple in Philadelphia, New York, and Trenton, and I just never bothered to get them. And then many years later, in fact, I guess I had left Amtrak at that point. I got a call no, I don't remember how I got up there. I guess I got a call. A guy asked me if I wanted the old ringing machine power supply out of Trenton.